mindset secrets that will make English fluency click. You will achieve English fluency faster if you understand that fluency starts in the mind. And that is the purpose of this English lesson. I want to share 3 mindset secrets that make English fluency click faster in your brain, because that's where everything begins. If you don't know me very well, hi, how's it hanging? I'm Teacher Prix, and I'm going to help you talk to anyone, anywhere, anytime in English. Consider subscribing to the channel. It'll be an honor to help you on your journey to fluency, to help you unlock your fluency so that you can talk to anyone, anywhere, anytime with confidence. By unlocking your mind. That's what I teach my students inside my academy, in my programs, in my one-on-one coaching. I teach that everything starts in the mind. And in this English lesson, I want to show you tips that are not usual things we hear on a lesson to teach English. I'm not here just to teach English. I am going to talk about mental patterns that I see in successful English learners. And what is a successful English learner? Is it a person that speaks 100% correct, that doesn't make any mistake whatsoever? No, that's not what fluency is. Fluency is communication, not perfection. And if you agree with me, I wanted to type this here. Fluency is communication, not perfection, because that's what fluency is. I make mistakes. So I want to show you that when you change mental patterns, you change your fluency. And stay with me until number 3. I'm going to show you 3 mindset secrets, because number 3 will surprise you, okay? Now, the first one is don't forget your own identity. Guys, why do I like to talk about the mind? Because I study the mind. I am a master practitioner of neuro-linguistic programming, okay? And I combine NLP and language strategies to help students learn faster. And not only that, I have been reading books on mindset for 10 years, for more than a decade, because I know that when we understand the power of the mind, we change. And the number 1 is don't forget your own identity. What is that supposed to mean? Most English learners, and I understand you're not entirely wrong, most learners, especially the ones who have no guidance, who study alone, who don't have my program, my academy, my study plan, they focus too much on the what? The lesson, the grammar lesson, the vocabulary lists, memorizing the words, studying for 30 minutes a day, watching the English lessons, those vocabulary lessons that we post. I post those lessons. So they focus on that. And it's not wrong. However, most students ignore a powerful force in learning, the identity. You learn based on who you believe you are. If you believe you're a failure, congratulations, you will fail. If you believe that it's too hard for you, that's who you are. That's your identity. Your brain will confirm that identity and will do whatever it takes to confirm what you constantly repeat. So if people ask you about your English, hey, maybe you're having a cup of coffee, you're talking to your friends, and someone asks you, hey, I know you're studying English, so tell me about it. It's too hard. I always forget the words. What are you saying to your brain? Hey, my identity is I am absent-minded. I forget things in English. I don't remember anything. So this is my identity. My identity is to be someone who forgets information in English. That's who I am. That's my identity. So every time, and you may think that this is an innocent reaction. Oh, but Priscilla, it is difficult. What am I going to do? But you're always defining who you are. And your brain, your conscious and subconscious mind will be paying attention to your choice of words, because we are constantly defining our own identity by the choice of words we make. So I am terrible at speaking. So your brain, identity, bad speaker. So your brain will do whatever it takes to confirm your identity of being a bad English speaker. No matter how much you study, no matter how many lessons you have, no matter how many times you have traveled abroad, even if you live abroad, that's your identity. You're a bad speaker because you're always repeating that. And this is a challenge. This is a challenge. I understand. But when you shift your identity from I'm a failure, I can't do this, it doesn't work for me, there's something wrong with me, to I'm dedicating myself. I will not stop until I get my results. I am the kind of person who keeps going. I'm practicing. I'm doing my best. I'm always doing my best to learn. I'm working hard, to learn English. It's a challenge, but I'm doing it. I don't give up. I'm speaking a little better. Every day I speak a little more, Priscilla. When you're talking to a friend, oh, every day I speak a little more. Yeah, it's good. I'm making progress. What are you doing there? You're changing your identity. Everything is changing inside your brain. You're changing your mindset. Think about two students. Let's imagine this. Picture two students. They are at the same level. They study the same thing, okay? The same frequency, the same amount of information, but there's a difference between them. One student believes that he is bad. I'm bad. So what is the feeling you're going to have? Anxiety. You're going to feel anxious all the time. You're going to feel like you're bad at English. And as a result, your brain will confirm that identity and block your fluency because you're always affirming your identity of being a bad English speaker. Congratulations. Your brain is confirming your identity. The other student, two scenarios. The other student is not always saying, oh, I'm the best, I'm amazing. No. It's not. I'm not saying that you should lie. No. But the other student is always saying, oh, I'm learning more. Every day I learn more. I'm always learning something different. I'm always doing my best. I'm having fun. This other student is going to have a different identity because the brain will confirm what? Hey, you're confident. This is confidence, believing that you can grow, believing that you can learn, not focusing on the mistake, but on, I'm getting better. I'm learning a little more. Every day I learn more. I'm having fun. I'm enjoying the process. I am enjoying the person I am becoming. That will make you make progress much faster. So right now, I want to invite you to a challenge. Not a challenge, but to a mindset exercise that you can do anywhere, anytime in English. And whenever possible, you can use a mirror, okay? You can use a mirror and you're going to look in the mirror. Mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest of them all? Teacher Prix, she is. Yay, so make sure to subscribe. No, seriously now. I want you to start making different identity affirmations. Instead of defining yourself as someone who sucks, I'm terrible, I fail, I'm afraid, why not say, I'm always practicing. I don't give up. I'm the person who practices consistently. I have a dream and I will not stop until I achieve it. I'm the type of learner who keeps going, who keeps improving. Every day I learn a little more. There is so much to learn and I am excited about it. Oh, English is a beautiful language. I am enjoying the journey. I'm learning a little bit more every day. Each day I learn a little more. And start repeating that to yourself. Take 10 seconds, 5 seconds, look in the mirror and repeat it. Maybe you don't have a mirror, no problems. Just repeat to yourself, hey, I'm dedicating myself. I'm doing my best. I can learn. I have the power to learn. I have the power to grow. That's when you start to change your identity. When you change your identity, your results change. Everything starts in the mind. You change your mind, you change your results. That leads me to number 2. You learn by emotions, not only by information. Of course you need information. Yes, I know. You need to study the verbs, you need to study grammar, you need to study phrasal verbs and prepositions and tenses. I teach all of that. I teach my students in my academy. I teach how to organize your study plan in my study plan cycle. The link is in the description. Make sure to check it out. I know you will love it. You need all of that. You need the information. But only information is not enough. You need emotions. You need to feel, because your brain learns through feeling, through emotion. So when something feels exciting, meaningful, surprising, mysterious, your brain remembers more. When something feels unattractive, boring, not interesting, pointless, your brain, poof, deletes it. Not important. I'm not going to study this. It's disconnected. So you need a strong emotion. Why so many times you remember an entire movie scene? You remember the details of a movie scene or a TV show scene, but you don't remember what you studied this morning, the phrasal verb you studied. You watched a show and you remember exactly what happened in that scene. Facial expressions, the tone of voice, but you don't remember the phrasal verb you saw this morning. Why? Because there was no emotion connected to your practice. This is what I teach my students in my academy, how to connect English with your life, how to connect English with emotions. Because when you feel emotions in the process, you unlock your mindset. This is the secret of success, because it's not only about fluency, it's about life. If there's no emotion, there's no power. If you're not feeling anything right now, you're not going to be engaged in this lesson. That's why I didn't even create slides, because I wanted to see you. I wanted to connect with you and show you that everything is here. Of course, you need the information. Yes, you do. But when you sit down to study in your practice, you need to pick topics that you actually enjoy. You need to use English to solve real-life problems. Sometimes with my private students, and if you want to be a private student, you can send me an email, contact@teacherprix.com. I ask, when they're beginning the journey with me, I ask them questions about their lives and their problems at work and their dreams and goals and meaningful life experiences, and they feel a little surprised. They feel like, oh, but aren't you going to teach me a lesson? And then I go on by explaining, this is the lesson. Do you want to be fluent to be able to conjugate the verbs? Or do you want to be fluent to be able to talk about your life? To look at your boss and solve a problem? That's why you want to be fluent. You want to be fluent to be able to understand conversations at a bar, at a restaurant, when you're traveling, to watch your favorite movies or documentaries and connect with the information. That's meaningful. And when you sit down to study, you can't just read and take notes. If there's no emotional connection, there's no fluency. The game doesn't change. And this is what you need to understand it. And if this is resonating with you right now, support the channel. Hit the like button, share this video with a friend. There are so many things you can do to support the channel. Simply watching will already be huge. Thank you so much, by the way. So when you make English emotional, it becomes unforgettable. So when I am learning a phrase, or let's put this into a more contextualized example. So when I am teaching my students vocabulary and I teach them expressions and phrasal verbs and idioms, I don't ask them to memorize the phrasal verb, memorize the expression. No, I ask them to tell me something that happened to them, that was important, that was special, that was difficult, maybe a difficult life experience. And while they are telling me that, they use the expression, the phrasal verb, the idiom, the conjugation, the grammar. Because I don't care about the grammar. I care about the experience. I care about what they lived. I care about what they went through. I care about their story. That's what makes me interested. And that's what makes their brain remember. And consequently, it makes the association with the English language. That's what I want for you. So today, I want you to pick 5 minutes. I want you to sit down for 5 minutes. You can use ChatGPT to help you with that. And I want you to pick an embarrassing story of yours. Yes, embarrassing, okay? I want an embarrassing story. And you will describe that story in details for 5 minutes. You can write, you can speak, you decide. I think speaking would be a very good challenge, but you decide how comfortable you feel just talking for 5 minutes about an embarrassing story or writing. No problems. That's preparation. You can write and speak. This would be a huge plus, by the way. Connect English with your life. Connect with emotions. That is going to be a much more powerful way to unlock your English fluency. And before I move on to number 3, which is really cool, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you being part of the channel. Sharing this video would also be very, very supportive. And if you're interested, my study plan cycle will help you be more organized with the way you study, how to bring more emotions, more productivity to the way you study, how to find more excitement and joy in the way you study. It'll teach you how to use the internet in your favor. That's my goal with the study plan. And my academy is the complete program. So these 2 links are available in the description of this video. You're welcome to check them out. But let's move on to number 3, which revolves around consistency. Because many times we feel like we need to be disciplined, but we don't understand this mindset secret, which is consistency is built by environment, not only by motivation. Many people keep on waiting. I like to sing this song when I'm live. People, I keep on waiting, waiting, waiting for the world to change. I keep on waiting, waiting, waiting for motivation to come. And motivation doesn't always come. So people think they fail because of discipline, because they're not always motivated, because they're not always excited. Even though I talk about emotions, that you need to feel powerful emotions, you are not always going to feel excited when you sit down to study. We need to be able to tell these 2 situations apart. You will not feel excited to start, to sit down and get down to business. Many times you're going to feel like, I don't want to do this right now. But your environment, there are 2 types of environment, physical and educational. I will explain the difference. So if your physical environment is full of distractions, noise, notifications, if your cell phone is always ding, 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 if there's always something popping up on your cell phone, your brain will fight to exhaustion to stay focused. It'll be nearly impossible for you to focus because you're trying so hard. Your environment is not appropriate. The same thing goes to your educational environment. If your educational environment is a mess, if you have Google, ChatGPT, another app, another website, 5 different teachers, many different Instagram videos you saved, that is too much information. It's disorganized. It's a lot of distraction. Because don't be fooled, internet gives you information, but you need to be able to discern what's right and what's not. And it's difficult to do that alone. So when you have a lot of distractions in your physical environment and educational environment, it gets very hard to stay consistent. But if your physical environment and your educational environment are connected for a better and more enhanced experience, then you flow. Then your brain expands. Then it gets easier to connect with the language. So organize your desktop area. Okay, organize your desk, organize your computer so that you don't have too much information, or your laptop, or your tablet or your cell phone. so that you don't have too many distractions. Try to implement a learning mode in your physical area and in your educational area. Because just because there's a lot of information doesn't mean you should be using all of those resources. With my students in my academy, my study plan, I always teach them the power of less. Less is more. You don't need too much. You need quality. That's what I teach in my program. That's what I teach inside my academy. That's what I teach in my study plan. In 21 days in my study plan, I completely changed the way you study because you stop wasting time. You stop wasting money because you understand what you need to do with the internet. You stop wasting energy because time is life. And the same thing with your physical environment. I have my notebooks, I have my things. And I'm not just saying that, oh, this is disorganized. No, it's not. I'm not just talking about physical mess, but distractions. Things that will distract you. And in most cases, guys, this is the biggest enemy. The phone is a huge distraction to many of us. It is a wonderful tool, but also an enemy if you don't know how to use it. So when your environment supports your journey, when your physical environment and your educational environment support your journey, your brain expands. Consistency becomes more natural. Why do you see so many successful entrepreneurs, doctors, architects, engineers, businessmen, businesswomen? They have a proper physical environment and a proper educational environment. They are always combining both. Because if you have one and you don't have the other, okay, Priscilla, I organized my desk, everything I need to do, everything is beautiful. But then when it's time to study, you don't know what to study. You don't follow an organized plan. What do you expect it to happen? Not much. I'm afraid not much. Because even though the physical environment is organized, the educational environment is not. So it's important to work on both. Because if you don't work on both, it doesn't matter how hard you try, nothing is going to change. So when the environment, both physical and educational, support you, consistency becomes natural. I hope you enjoyed this video. Share it with a friend, but other than that, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!